Hello guys, welcome to another After Effects tutorial. My name is Jayla Scanlon, and this is the second part of our finalizing of our editing. So right now we've added our project to our render queue, and we're going to start looking at some of the settings of rendering out our video. So for our render settings, we have a few settings to choose from. Usually best settings is chosen as your default, but as you can see, you can mess around with some of these properties within here. You can change the frame rate depending on what your video's frame rate is. You have all these little features right here that you can play around with, but usually we want to keep that at the default, so click OK, and we're going to leave that as best settings. Now for our output module, this is going to be what kind of a video file it's going to be. So right now it's going to go out as a Windows Media file, and you can choose from a lot of different of these presets right here. As you can see, there's Photoshop sequences and JPEG sequences for images if you wanted to just be an image sequence. Now this H.264, this is the codec for MP4, MPEG-4 videos that are usually playable in YouTube and other media devices like iPhones. You can play H.264 codec videos. But the one we want to play with and want to keep to right now is QuickTime Movie. We want to keep it at that. And so the compression type, depending on the compression type, depends on how big the size will be. Animation is usually a bigger file, and then as you come down, the differences between the PAL and NTSC is the PAL works on the English version of TVs, so Europe and all those, England, they all use PAL, including New Zealand. Alright. And then NTSC is for your American systems and for your American TVs. But we want to keep it at Photo JPEG because it seems to be the smallest compression for video. You can also change, the compressor quality. We can keep it at best right now. Click OK. So now we have our QuickTime Movie. We have some advanced, settings right here that we can talk about. But right now we want to keep all of these at the default pre-render action. We can import and replace, set a proxy, or you can set something in its place instead of rendering out the exact movie. You can have, parts of the movie that you would like to use. Now video output, we have our different colors. RGB will be our full color. Alpha will just be our black and whites that would come out. And so you may see kind of like a negative effect that comes out when you render it out. Millions of colors is usually what we want to keep that to. Most of these settings you can play around with, but we usually keep them at the default. Our formatting options, the options that we saw previous when we clicked on our QuickTime Movie. And then we can choose to stretch the canvas or the stage, but we want to keep it at default because then if we stretched it out any more, any less, you may lose the quality, and also you may make the image or footage distorted, and we don't want that. You can also crop different regions of your video. So if you only wanted to just render out one top left hand corner, then you can go to top, and you can drag that out and make a little square, depending on what section you want to render out. And then also, if your video has audio, you want to check audio output and make sure that audio output comes out. Otherwise, you'll come out with a video with no sound. And so, if you have sound, make sure that you check the audio output. And most of these settings are usually preset when you check on the audio output, and that uses the output of the audio that is already imported into After Effects. So if you wanted to change that, you could, but we're going to keep that as normal. And there's a lot of different things you can play around with in the settings, just to make sure that you know how to use them and what you can use within After Effects to produce the best video quality possible for your use. And that's it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. My name is Jayla Scanlon, and in the last tutorial we will talk about how to render and complete your video and then play it back so that we can see what we have created.